What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of View for Nier Automata. This is episode 20, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
hmm Yeah, so we pick up back into the machine village in which the rogue machines are about to attack the village gates. Where A2, of course, is commanding the villagers to help hold off the machines by having them throw stones, and then of course having like the front line defense using lances to take down the machines that are reaching the gates, and of
Mm-hmm.
course A2 herself fighting off many of the machines by herself alongside the pod that's accompanying her.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it shows that, obviously A2 has warmed up to the machines in Pascal's village as opposed to how she was before, where she was like, very confrontational. She's obviously like grown enough of a liking to them to help them, defend the village. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of this episode, like, yeah, it kind of cuts between A2, like, defending Pascal's village and 9S heading to was it the conduit or like,
I think it was another conduit.
yeah, like, so, yeah, I mean, and like I said before, it's obviously just kind of cutting between A2 and 9S, which I think is actually a good idea instead of just, like, solely following A2 or just A2 or 9S. But yeah, like A2 manages to they do manage to successfully defend against the first attack from the machines. However, there is like another wave of attack, another attack from the machines from the air, where they basically like drop these bombs on Pascal's village, which end up,
Yeah, the screamer the
yeah.
screamer bomb. Yeah, and pretty much most of the villagers end up getting killed in the process. While Pascal also arrives by installing his old weaponry on himself. But of course, the only survivors left of the village are the little child or children machines, and they evacuate. Yeah, I guess they evacuate somewhere to hold off the rest of the machines. But of course, they're also confronted by an approaching Goliath machine, and A2 she fights that thing by herself by activating her berserker mode.
Like I said before, it's been a while since I've played Nier Automata, but I don't remember this happening in this particular way. There is a confrontation with a Goliath class machine I think around this point in the story. But it doesn't
Yeah,
really happen that way. Like it's like in the game, you return to I guess they're still going to do that. But you return to the factory, and it's around there where this happens, and it's not really. I mean, it happens kind of. It plays out like how it does later on in the episode, where you see Pascal commandeer, I guess, a Goliath class unit. But that's how it happened in the game. Where Pascal was fighting with a Goliath class against the other Goliath class. But I don't remember A2 going like berserker mode and fighting by herself the Goliath class.
yeah. Like she blocks a freaking attack of from a Goliath's punch like
Yeah.
it's almost nothing.
Yeah, it definitely
So
feels
it's
like
I mean,
the anime has like is definitely like I guess sort of like further maybe emphasize A2 or how I like how powerful she is or how important she is, I guess, and as opposed to how she's really like had been portrayed in the game.
yeah. I mean, well, her fighting styles is no different than 2B's, but
Yeah.
I didn't imagine her to be this powerful. I mean, like sure she couldn't stop it even with her berserker mode, but like like her being this powerful considering the fact that she's like a prototype unit before 2B, it's like it's just on another level.
Yeah, so I mean that was honestly like one of the most surprising things in the episode was seeing that. Um, but then of course we go back, of course we go back to 9S where he hacks he's reverse like hacked into for the by one of the machines in the by one of the machines, and or I think he tries to hack into it. He's warned by the pod that he shouldn't do that. But he hacks into the machine, and that's where he learns all this information about like I guess what the black boxes really are, and that the anatomy of androids is basically the same as the anatomy of the robot or the machines that they've been fighting. So they're basically like the same in a way.
Yeah. So and of course, 9S is in denial about this. So he attacks the I guess the core, but he's hacked again, and then like he ends up seeing like I guess in images of and memories of 2B, and then all of a sudden the core ends up hacking him to the point where he thinks or believes that his memories of 2B are being deleted. So he ends up like, well, he basically just like repeatedly stabs this image of 2B over and over and over again, until like the core is completely destroyed. um I think there was a little difference by how the scene ended, because like he like I said, he goes into a rage, but then like he starts crying at first, but then he starts maniacally laughing by the end of the scene. That was in the game, but I don't think this they ended up doing this by the end of this episode, which is kind of weird because I really felt like that could have added more to his madness.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have definitely emphasized like how messed up that was. I mean, you already had him stabbing, I guess the image of 2B, but yeah, then him like just kind of laughing like that would have just told you. I mean, it's obvious that he's already just kind of lost it, but I feel like that would have like I guess further emphasized like like just really how much he's gone crazy. Um, but yeah, uh, but yeah, like I said at the with A2, of course, Pascal shows up to help out in the commandeered Goliath class unit. I am wondering like how this is gonna like I guess that maybe from here they're going to go into that the part the scene with the factory. I'm wondering if that's maybe they're gonna end up there maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, they're part. I'm pretty sure they're likely going back to the factory,
Yeah, because
like they
that's a
did
pretty
in the game.
important, plot point from the game. So I mean, I couldn't imagine that they're not going to end up going back there. Um,
Yeah, and as for 9S, we know he's going to go into the third conduit, but as I mentioned before in the previous episode, if we remember, Operator 210 um, is supposed to be the boss fight in the at the third conduit, but
mhm.
because she was killed in the prior episode, I don't know like how or what they're gonna end up doing for for those particular scenes once 9S reaches the third conduit, unless somehow 210 ends up surviving and then just being uh like controlled like a puppet or something like that. I think that
Or
might be the likely
I
option,
mean,
but
or they could possibly like use maybe her image or something to mess with 9S and make him think that
yeah.
he's fighting her.
Yeah, but that's also when at the point where A2 ends up killing 210 and then confronts 9S for the
Yeah.
first time since 2B's death. But like I said, I don't know like how uh, because they've gone in slightly different directions with this anime by making certain changes, like the alien reveal and killing off Eve instead of Adam and
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, they're going in slightly different directions, but it's so far remained faithful to like how it's portrayed in the game.
Yeah, I definitely think there are certain scenes that happen later on that'll probably play out differently too. So I mean, it'll be interesting to
Hmm.
see what they do with those. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't really have too much else to say about the episode though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
there is one thing. If you remember, like we don't really cover this. It's just like those like each and every episode, like they have those like little puppet scenes.
Yeah.
But by the end of this episode, um, both 2B and 9S's pods discuss that they're going to handle time management for the remaining episodes and conclude that for the sake of time, the puppet show segments will be discontinued from that point on,
Hmm.
which is going to be interesting because they're going to focus the remainder of the episode for for the sake of the story, which I think it's like kind of I think it is a good thing because as much as I kind of like the the puppet show things, it kind of got started wearing down on me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
I
kind of
really
stopped watching most of them, to be honest. Even though I do like them, like I didn't, I honestly didn't watch all of them. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea, though. I mean, it makes me, think that obviously he's, they're going to try to fit as much content into each episode as they can. Um, so I mean, definitely it's a positive that they're kind of getting rid, getting rid of those, even though I did like them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they were kind of funny at times. I mean, they were mostly trying to like reenact, those comedic.
yeah, the joke
I
ending.
think there was a comedic joke endings throughout the game, but it seems like they're gonna stop doing that uh going forward. Which is, I mean, it's I mean, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. Like I do like I do like the fact that they're gonna focus more on the story for the remainder of this season.
Yeah, yeah, guys. But that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.